System, get me out of this world. I stood outside the door, staring at my husband, Jericho, as he pinned the young intern up against the window. She was gasping, clearly overwhelmed. Mr. Green, please, slower. I'm pregnant. Jericho froze. Then he shoved her off, face darkening. You didn't take the pill? The girl blinked, like she couldn't believe what was happening. Panic crept onto her face. I forgot last time. Please don't be mad. I'll deal with it right away. I swear Raina won't ever know. Jericho's voice turned icy. You really think I don't see what you're doing? You're not Raina. You'll never be her. A mechanical voice hummed quietly in my ear. Mr. Green is telling the truth. Would you still like to proceed with exiting this world? Yes, I said, without hesitation. Confirmed. Exit will be completed in 1 working day, the voice answered. Inside, the girl was already clinging to him again, desperate to win back his attention. Whatever guilt he had felt earlier was long gone. They were tangled up in each other again, lost in the moment, totally unaware I had been standing just outside the door. I turned around and left, their breathy moans fading behind me. Today was our 5th wedding anniversary. I had left work early to surprise him. Instead, I found him playing house with his new intern. I knew her, Margot Shore. She was fresh out of college, just started interning at Jericho's company. I had met her 2 months ago. I'd stopped by the office and saw Jericho going off on her for putting papers into a shredder instead of the scanner. She looked completely lost, eyes wide and glassy with tears, lips trembling. Callum Firth, Jericho's business partner, tried to lighten the mood. She's still learning, man. Don't scare the poor kid. Margot just stood there, blinking back tears like she was auditioning for a role. Jericho snapped, go cry at home if you want. Worried he would cross a line, I stepped in. The second Jericho saw me, his whole vibe changed, anger gone, replaced with that polished version of himself he always showed me. Callum took the chance to guide Margot out of the room. Later that day, I even said to Jericho, that girl looks way too soft for this field. You should probably keep her away from the playboy Callum. Funny, I thought I was doing her a favor. Should have known better. Callum had a reputation, a total ladies' man. Everyone knew it. There were always different women by his side. I warned Jericho once. He just scoffed. Innocent? Please, she's just dumb. Let her finish her 2-month internship and move on. But 2 months later, she was still there, and pregnant. I left the house without saying a word, still holding the anniversary gift I had picked out for him like an idiot. The sky outside was starting to fade into twilight, colors bleeding into gray. My phone buzzed. A message popped up on WhatsApp. Mrs. Green, I know you saw it. Let's talk when you're ready. I didn't reply, just got into a cab and rode around in silence. When I got home again, I pretended like I had just gotten off work. The living room was dark. I was reaching for the lights when someone grabbed me and pulled me in close. Jericho, baby, you're home late, he said, voice low and sweet. There was this faint sugary scent on him, not his usual cologne. It hit me then, that smell was Margot's. My stomach twisted and I had to swallow hard, trying not to gag. Jericho froze, then switched the light on, concern flickering across his face. Hey, you're okay? Are you feeling sick again? Want me to take you to the hospital? He kissed my forehead gently. Good, no fever. I turned my face away and forced a half smile. I'm fine. I just lost the gift I got you on the way back. Made me a little upset. Jericho let out a breath, like that was all it took to ease his nerves. You're so silly, he said, brushing my hair back. You're the best gift I could ever ask for. Come here, look what I got you. He pulled out a velvet box and opened it with a little flourish. A diamond ring sparkled inside and he gently slipped it onto my finger. I recognized it right away. It was the one I paused at during the exhibition a while back. I hadn't even said anything, just stared for a moment longer than I should have. Then the doorbell rang. It was the driver who had dropped me off earlier. She was holding the gift box I had purposely left behind in the back seat. Inside was the tie I had spent weeks planning. Last month, I flew all the way to Massaland, found a well-known craftsman and paid a ridiculous amount to have it made. Hand-stitched, initials embroidered, mine and his. It was supposed to be special, but by the time I got home today, it didn't feel like it mattered anymore, so I left it. Jericho took the box from the driver and smiled, then handed her $10,000 like it was nothing. She blinked, stunned. My wife was upset she lost this, Jericho said. I'd spend $1 million if it made her happy again. The driver looked at me, wide-eyed and a little envious. You're lucky, ma'am. He remembers your anniversary, spoils you and actually cares how you feel. My husband? Always out gambling or chasing some other woman. Doesn't even know what day it is. I glanced at Jericho and for the briefest moment, I saw it, guilt, flickering in his eyes like he knew. I took my time before going into the bedroom. I needed a second, maybe 2. However, the room was spotless. Everything was put back perfectly, dressing table neat, no watermarks on the window ledge and not a single trace of perfume in the air. It was like nothing had happened, except the wedding photo on the wall. It was tilted, just a little. That was where it happened, where he had pushed Margot against the wall earlier. Jericho came up behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist, his movements slow and careful. His chin rested on my shoulder. He was being sweet, gentle, like always, but my chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe. Everything I saw earlier kept playing in my head on a loop. The way he looked at her, the way he touched her. With her, he was completely different. Excited, aggressive, alive in a way I hadn't seen in years. And suddenly, I wasn't sure if I was sad, or just done pretending. I shoved him away without thinking, my chest tight and sweat gathering at my hairline. Jericho froze. Baby, what's going on with you today? How am I supposed to leave for a business trip tomorrow if you're like this? His concern seemed real. But just hours ago, those same eyes were staring at someone else, hungry, focused, lit up in ways I hadn't seen in years. I couldn't stop the memory from crashing back. Margot, flushed and wide-eyed, lying in his arms like she belonged there. Mr. Green, are you going to my graduation tomorrow? My friends really want to meet my boyfriend. Jericho lit a cigarette, the corners of his mouth curling. I'll be there. You've still gotta wear that gown for me, right? Margot had blushed all the way to her ears and buried her face in his chest. Raina? Raina? His voice snapped me back to the room, to the man still holding on to his mask of concern. I met his eyes and asked softly, why don't you stay home with me tomorrow? That caught him off guard. He blinked like he didn't recognize me. After a beat, he said, the client I'm meeting is kind of a big deal. But how about the day after tomorrow? I'll come back early. We'll spend the whole evening together. I looked down so he wouldn't see the bitterness in my eyes. Okay, but you're not going to find me the day after tomorrow, I thought. Not the day after. Not ever again. While he went to take a shower, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Callum. I almost laughed. Jericho always acted like he was above Callum. Said he partied too hard, had no respect for women. Even walked out of a private dinner once when Callum brought in a group of girls, slamming the door behind him like some noble man who couldn't be tempted. And yet here we were,